And we're rolling on another Wednesday, because it's always Wednesday on YouTube. It's the only day you ever see. You ever thought about seeing Friday? Can you imagine us on Friday? All right, it's the 5th of May, which is the 5th month.
Which is Cinco De Mayo, baby.
That's a pretty good day to have.
Yeah.
And we are... Two dudes making a podcast, just another two dudes dropping a pod. Here to see you, two dudes making a podcast. How will these two dudes ever survive? Beautiful. That's making up for last. Well, yeah. I mean, it's still on the same level as like elementary school kids who have practiced the same song for weeks upon weeks, but also were like doodling in the background and fucking around in the bleachers.
Except
all of the times that we practiced.
Yeah,
the
once
15,
a week.
Yeah, but that's 15 times now.
Okay.
At least I think it is.
Yeah,
15.
but it's all about the routine.
You know, you should always start the show after you manage your cables, not before you do.
I mean, it's bad video, that's for sure.
Well, you know, I could hide it in the audio. Maybe the video won't work again. That'll be fun.
Sometimes
I love it when the video doesn't work. That's the best thing that happens to this podcast is when we take the time to turn this shit on and then 2 videos in it fails because we're so cheap we use the phone for everything and the phone doesn't like to record for more than 4 gigs, so I got to slap it all together like some kind of, I don't know, man, some kind of moron. Let's talk about cheaping out.
Like using a cell phone instead of buying an actual camera.
Right. Or how about, okay, so just before this, I had to empty the trash. And I find that
you don't say.
I find that I'm the only person who buys trash bags with pull strings or trash bags that can handle the amount of trash that gets put into them.
That's the worst.
Yeah, so what So what is this? We're going to get store brand trash bags so that when we finally fill them, because we know we all overstuff them.
Yeah.
We overstuff the bag. You know, it's like getting your fucking foot in there and stomping that shit down, and nobody wants to be the one to take the trash out because it's just like, you don't want to take the last sip of milk. You don't want to take the last squirt of mustard. You don't want to take the last hot dog.
You don't want that on your plate.
You'll let it rot in the fridge. But okay, so that's great. Let's get the bags that you have to touch all the shit and like tie it off, like and stuff it before you're even able to tie off the plastic.
By the way, too, so
and then
it's hard to,
here comes the rips.
Oh yeah, the rips and the tears. Yep.
And it doesn't hold liquid. I mean, you know what you're gonna throw away.
Yeah, you know there's gonna be liquid in it.
So all we did was, we saved $2 so that we could be annoyed for months. We saved $2 to be annoyed for months.
For whole months. Because it sucks.
Like 3 months.
Yeah.
You bought a fucking 50 count.
It's always with things you're not going to do either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like you say, it's the trash bag. And you're never going to take out the trash until you have to take out the trash.
So it's a 3-second affair that ends up plaguing you for months.
Until the next time. And then it starts all over again.
What do you cheap out on? Do you cheap out on anything?
I try not to cheap out on stuff unless you just kind of don't think about it and you grab a thing and you're just like, well, what's this? I meant to get wax paper, but this is parchment paper. Does it do the same thing? Does parchment paper work like wax? Can I put it in the microwave?
Is that what you use wax paper for?
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
I
put it on top of a plate. You know what I mean?
Whenever it is that I want something not to stick, like it's very useful for glue. So you have this wax barrier on a piece of paper when you're trying to super glue something together or whatever, and then you can do it on a table and not go, oh shit.
Oh no!
Oh, now it's glued to the fucking table. That's the last thing you want is to have to take out a spatula and start slip sliding on top of a table that you just fucked up, and then brush it with acetone for like 30 minutes, inhaling those fumes. I mean, you could put on a mask, but you know, like, I mean the appropriate kind, you know, like a fume mask, not like a mask, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, I like to luxuriate.
Okay.
So I like to get the thing that makes things better.
Like Charmin toilet
even
paper.
if it's not much. Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, that's
whatever.
Like a bit that I remember from like Comedy Central. Some guy's Comedy Central special was like, I remember so clearly to this day of just being like, you want to get the nice toilet paper so you don't end up wiping your ass with like bits of bark or something from like the cheapest toilet
so
paper.
It doesn't hurt or break.
But there's a nice like in between.
Yeah, of course. There's always a nice in between.
Like
you don't have to buy the super expensive thing. You can just get the thing that's a little bit better.
Yeah, Cottonelle.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of an in between.
Mm-hmm.
But then how much are you saving? You still have to buy like 12 rolls.
That's true. It's true. And 9 times out of 10, the more expensive thing is more expensive because it actually works better. So you probably end up saving money in the end because, as you said, like instead of using like you buy the shitty paper towels, well, guess what? You're going to need to pull off 8 of them just to clean up the countertop or whatever.
No, I don't cheap out on paper towels. I get the pound. I get Bounty every time. I mean, well, just
Bounty every time. Well, I've been a Bounty man.
I've done Viva. Okay, I did Viva because this just turned into paper products.
Products. Yep.
Viva. That brand.
Okay.
Come off the roll. What the fuck is going on? Come off the roll.
Where are your fucking perforations?
I can't find them. You can't pull it off. They're so stiff. You can't pull it off the fucking roll already. You got to like grip it and then peel across and then get it off, and then you rip one, and you're like, yeah, this is really nice once it's off the roll. But the whole roll situation is not worth the saving of the money or the brand name.
No.
At least with Bounty, even though it's a little rough, and I like to dampen my paper towel.
Ooh.
Yeah, when it comes to because I don't buy napkins.
Get a wet nap.
That's where I cheap out. Well, I don't buy napkins.
I mean, look, I buy napkins, but I don't know why.
I don't buy tissue paper for my nose. I blow my nose on toilet paper.
Yeah, I mean,
every time, 3 folds.
Fucking do it.
1, 2, 3. Rip.
I don't because I have
fold
a wife
it over.
And she seems to think there's a difference.
And tissue paper?
Yeah. It's like, well, I just used the sink.
Oh, you just like
wash up. All right, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Probably more sanitary if you really think about it.
Well, because it's not like going in the garbage. You're not creating biohazard material in your trash.
Not using paper products. Not fucking whatever. Do it right. Get in the shower, upturn your nose, and just let it happen.
That's excessive. That's wasting water. How do you waste water?
How do I waste water?
How is it that you actually waste it? Like it comes back.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well,
there's this. You were taught about the water cycle in science class.
That's true.
And they tell me it's like it didn't disappear. It just got dirtied.
It got dirtied. It can be hard to then make that dirty water clean again.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Sure. But that means that I'm wasting clean water specifically.
Yes.
Not water in general.
This is true.
And the water is part of the water cycle, which means eventually it goes back up into the sky and comes down, and it may be acidic.
But not when it's gray water or whatever.
Gray water?
Yeah, that's what they call it or something.
What's the other one where it's like if you do a water purifier? Oh, so we got this water purifier on the sink. Mm-hmm. Okay. Water purifier in the sink, and
it's got a filter on it.
Yeah, and it runs off what I think is called like the brine water.
Okay.
So that water's no good. But the water going into the thing, that water's fine because that'll be good. So it's separated out the two, and you've got this thing of a drip. I don't really know how like briny that water is. I haven't tasted it. I haven't tried to use it for anything. Should I be saving it? Should I be saving that brine water?
I have no idea.
Well, it's still wet.
Yeah.
Well, what if I need it for wet stuff?
Use it for salting your meat.
Why is the water salty? It's a freshwater sink.
Well, you said brine.
How does it know the difference?
Brine means salt.
There's got to be some loss of water in making the brine water to have the good water.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I should be saving that water.
Yeah, you should probably save that water.
So creating super clean water.
I will say, Rochester's got pretty good water, so you really don't need a filter on it.
I think it tastes pretty good.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, literally, they've won an award, like, a couple years ago. Yeah, a couple years ago, they were claimed the second best water in the state or something like that. But also, like, I do a lot of brewing, so I test my water often to know what minerals
pH balance?
Yes, but more than that. pH balance is one of the things, but, like, I'm more testing to see, like, what kind of minerals and blah, 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 and things like that. We have pretty clear water. We don't have chloramines in it, which those can be a pain in the ass to get out and things like that.
What's a chloramine?
It's like chlorine, but harder to get out. That's it. It's like a buff.
That
chlorine.
Didn't help. From
it's
what
like
you had just
like
said.
A fucking buff chlorine.
So, push myself against the sides.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you have chlorine in your water, you can just like let your water sit overnight, and the chlorine will off gas itself. But chloramines will actually bind to it, so you have to actually put like a Camden tablet or something in there to get rid of that.
Does that mean that a public pool is like vaporizing chlorine into the air all day?
That's why it smells like that.
I mean, I know that I understand the smell, but does that mean if you just left it alone, it just all of it evaporates out of the water?
Eventually, yeah.
What's like the lifetime of chlorine in some water?
I don't know. When do you have to put a chlorine tablet in again?
Okay, so
You know?
you're just saying
Yeah.
just on the cycle of testing the balance of that's why they
And
test the
granted,
chlorine.
Yes, and granted, when you're talking about chlorine in a pool, that's so many levels above what chlorine might be in your water if you're drinking it. You know what I mean? But,
Okay.
So it's going to take longer for it to fully get out. But yes, that's why you need to reapply chlorine to like a pool that has that in there. Because it will off gas.
In your house,
Mhm.
do you have a water softener?
No.
No. Have you ever experienced a water softener?
No.
It's weird.
I mean, I want hard water.
Yeah, I want hard water too.
Yeah.
You don't know that you want hard water until you have a water softener.
Yeah, and I don't want hard water like fucking like give me that bitch as a stone. But like generally, it just means you have minerals in it. And
I want to
like,
be pelted with cubes.
Yeah, and like minerals, like it makes your water taste. Depending on the minerals, could make your water taste better. Could make it better for brewing. Depending, lots of things. But we already have relatively soft water. Again, I test it, so we, as long as I assume we'd be on the same, water lines.
Does your bathtub build up orange?
No.
Okay, so it might be my pipes that are causing
Oh, it could be
that.
the pipes too. Yeah.
Well, like over a long enough...
I mean, that could also be mold, but yeah.
Orange?
Yeah.
No, just like it looks like soap scum, but
Yeah, that's a little bit of hard.
But
water.
the soap I'm using ain't orange.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm using.
But I mean, we do have pretty soft water. It's not, it's not empty of things. There is stuff in it, but.
I went to this fancy guy's house in Connecticut or something, and he like takes me down into his basement. And he goes, "Look at my water softening unit."
And you're just like, I do just want to imagine just like a little fairy just like massaging the water as it goes through. just like get deep in there, just soften up.
So when you're standing in the shower, it's like, what's up with the pressure? Why is the pressure off? It's not the
ain't.
pressure. Yeah, it's just that
It
it's just like your hair
Water
gets
hits
wet.
you and you're just like weird.
Your hair gets wet faster with the soft water.
Probably,
which
yeah,
is
'cause it
weird.
soaks up quicker, probably because there's not stuff in it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't, but you don't notice.
Harder to get electrocuted through too.
Is that true?
That's very true. Yeah, actually,
because of heavy
the
metals.
reason why water is electrically conductive is usually because of the minerals in it. Like if you have like completely sterile water, it's actually not a great conductor of electricity.
Oh.
It's usually because it's got minerals and shit in it, and that's what.
All the more
helps
reason to
lightning
save
go
the
through.
brine water.
Yes.
Because it's going to be the heaviest of metals in
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Probably.
So then I'd be able to use that to conduct electricity.
Better.
Being if I
Better.
needed electric water.
And that's the thing too. It's like water is actually not a great conductor of electricity. It's just better than air, so we consider it to be. Man, that's good. Look at that. That's good. It's like no, it's just better than straight up air.
There's like what is it? Silver is better than copper
At what?
at conducting electricity.
Okay, I believe it.
Yeah,
Gold too, right?
gold even more so, and that's what we use in our computer components.
Yep. Save.
But silver is, if you look at the measurement of how much better silver is than copper, and then weigh how much better, how much more expensive silver is than copper, as far as just like
Are you still making out?
regular applications or like normal applications. Well, it's this thing in like, for instance, guitar pickups. They sell some guitar pickups that are wrapped in silver wire. Yeah, well, I mean, you got to pay for that silver.
Yeah.
And then they don't, and then
Yeah.
all you get is claims that they sound better, and then you run the two next to each other, and you're like, yeah, but like, who's playing it?
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting thing because there's a difference between something being testably different.
It's testably different.
Yes, and something being noticeably different.
It's not noticeably different.
That's what I
mean.
mean.
They tell you it is so they can sell it to you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But the actual like the numbers, I don't know what the exact like details are of like how they even measure the conductivity. There's like a specific number, but it was like 0.5 or some shit better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like measurably
it is better, but again, if you factor in cost and actual like audible in this case difference, it's probably extremely minimal.
Right. The cost portion is the part where it's really like, let's write this off. Who cares?
It probably ends up being like a general some of its parts type of thing, because yes, if you put a copper pickup and a silver pickup into the same guitar, you probably can't tell the difference. But if you have a smoking ass guitar, great wood, great strings, great blah blah blah, great wiring, and like silver pickups in it, it probably was fucking screaming. And if you have a shitty guitar and all the bad stuff, you're just like, yeah, that sucks.
And then you put silver pickups in like just the shittiest of Squires.
It might make a difference, But
well,
the smallest amount.
I was actually going to say that maybe it didn't.
Of course, because
maybe
you've already have this awful thing or whatever.
And if you had all the really nice stuff, then maybe you would notice, because it's a stacking of so many nice things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's still questionable.
Yeah.
Because I've heard... I mean,
testably different is very different than noticeably different.
How about like the guy who's got all the money to buy the really nice guitars and the fact that he can't play them? Or she. Or she. She might not be able to play them either.
That's because they're too busy making that money, dog.
Yeah. So you have these really nice...
Fucking laying it down.
I mean, I see this all the time.
There are some good guitar players out there that just happen to be rich. They exist. They're just few and far.
Joe Bonamassa.
Here's the thing. They're not few and far between. And the reason for that is most people suck at instruments.
That would be the expectation.
Yeah. So that also means most poor people suck at instruments. Most middle-class people suck at instruments. Most rich people suck at instruments.
Being bad at music is not class-based.
Exactly. So what I'm saying here is, because you have rich people, that just means they have the ability to actually buy things that they suck at, more so than poorer people. So that's why you see a higher percentage of rich people buy shit and can't play it.
A rich person has, like they go out and they buy the Red camera, and they're like, I'm going to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And then we get these weird, like, B-movie nonsense things that are put online for, like, immediate delivery.
Neil Breen.
Right. Like that. Like, he's got money.
Somehow.
He has probably okay cameras, I guess. Actually, if you watch the DVDs, it doesn't look like he does.
No, he doesn't. But looks
like he hasn't upgraded since like 2010.
But you get the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the difference, is that the reason why we can make fun of rich people who can't play buying instruments is because generally a poor person, I don't want to put this on poor people. Generally, a poor person won't buy an instrument unless they already know how to play it, right? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, unless you're a beginner, but...
They'll buy just one and then, like, never focus
Correct.
on, what would make me better is if I bought more pedals.
Yeah.
Or if I bought this amp.
Yes.
Or if I bought this guitar. Because it never ends up solving the problem.
That's why you notice, why can't rich people play? Oh, it's because more of them are buying. There's, just as many poor people can't play. It's just that a less percentage of them are buying instruments.
Yeah. I have this this customer who
can't play.
He got this. He's probably okay, but he's like wedding band, cover band thing. Like it's not doesn't care much for composing.
We do look down on you.
Get back on the cruise ship and get into international waters. I don't want to hear Last Dance one more fucking time.
Damn well they've shut down all the cruise ships, okay?
I don't know that.
I'm just kidding. I mean, they probably have.
I mean, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then what are they doing with those boats?
I'm sure some are running, but...
He bought this...
Could you imagine being trapped on a cruise ship?
That happened.
With an outbreak. No, could you imagine?
Can I?
Yes.
Yes, just did.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying. You're trapped on a big
deliver my food through a slot in the door.
You're trapped on a big toilet that slowly keeps filling up.
Do they just drop it in the ocean though, don't they?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so, sir.
Well, so they can't just get rid of...
I don't think they're allowed to. I mean, that doesn't mean they don't.
There's a whole island dedicated to garbage that we know of. I think they can drop human excrement into the sea, and they just go, it'll never be a problem.
It's not dedicated to garbage.
It just happens to be...
It just happens to be garbage.
Okay, well, it dedicated itself to garbage.
Correct, okay.
Because apparently garbage attracts more garbage. It's like magnetic to itself.
Well, I mean, that's a gravity right there.
It must, you know what? It must have something to do with like the let's see. There's the
what's the way the tides work?
Principle of cables will get fucking mangled.
Yeah,
cables will get all wrapped up in each other if near each other. The principle of cables.
Yeah, Well, and that
There must be-
principle is there are so many different ways for them to get wrapped up
Yeah.
compared to how many ways there are for them not to get wrapped up. There's only one way to not get wrapped up. There are 9 million fucking ways to get wrapped
Get
up.
stuck.
So it means it will happen.
And then also, what is it? Like the equation must be something like C plus C squared equals
To the power of
to the
C.
power of
Yeah.
aggression. To the power of aggression currently felt.
Yes. Yeah. It's just
like
it's exponential.
Exponential to the
It's
annoyance
exponential,
level
yeah.
that you're currently feeling. Because then it's like, let me untangle them. And it's like if you had the state of mind to be calm, you could do it.
Yeah.
But when it's happening like first thing in the morning.
I mean, I do know how to wrap your cables up so that they don't
I do
do
too.
that, but that takes an extra 4 seconds of work.
Yeah. I used
So-
to get yelled at for doing that.
Yeah. Oh, to wrap them up that way?
I used to
mean,
get-
it's technically not good for cables to wrap them up that way, right? You know, but
What? No, to wrap them up in the way where they don't get
Yeah.
tangled? No, that's the better way to do it.
No, I mean, it's the better way to not get tangled, but you are, like, the way I know it, it's like, you know,
It's over,
pull it
under,
out,
over, under.
Yeah, and then, okay, I see what you're saying. No, I know I know that way as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a specific way where
It's something like
you can...
this.
I'm not even going to fucking show it off here. But basically, you can basically tie the cable up with itself and have a little hook that you can hang it on.
It wants to go in a certain way. This cable has been abused.
Yes.
But now it is back on the floor.
Now, look how it dropped.
Well, see, that's
No
that's the
tangles.
part. You're supposed to be able to
Throw it across the fucking
and it
stage.
unravels itself, and it's no big deal. But that's based on the way it's because in a way you're wrapping it flat. You're laying it
Yes.
flat. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I worked for what was a professional wedding band. They got paid 20 grand for gigs, 15, 20 grand for gigs. Had like
That's a
12
lot.
members.
It's a lot of money. I still look down on you.
And the
You're
guy,
not a real artist.
he would yell at me for taking
Good.
the time to try and save his cables.
Oh, yeah, because fuck, time is money. Come on.
Well,
get the- let's
I
get this over
guess
with.
I
Yeah.
guess time is money.
Well, the difference with him is that you're the one that's wrapping them up, right?
Yeah, he's the one paying for him, so he can choose what it is that he wants to have happen to his
That's
cables.
not what I was going with.
All right, fine.
Who's going to unravel them?
Me too.
Yes!
Also me.
So he doesn't care if they get tangled. It's your job to untangle them anyway.
But I'm trying to save us time when we set up tomorrow.
He doesn't care.
But
He's going to yell at you
he's
then,
only
too.
saving time finishing up tonight.
Yes.
But and
But it's your job, so he can then yell at you again tomorrow for
When it
not
takes too long to
unraveling-
set it
Yes,
up.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So he's just a fucking sadist who likes yelling at me about cables.
Yeah.
I just want to wrap them up in a way where we
Dude,
don't have to
shut
buy
up
more.
and do your fucking job.
I was trying to.
Good. No, I mean, you were doing it the right way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I know
Hey,
that I was. I gave up
We're
on it.
talking about a wedding band.
Well, I gave up on it. I said forget
Was he
it.
a DJ or they were a band?
He was like an ex-mobster.
That didn't answer my question.
I know. Was he a DJ? No.
He was a band.
He
okay.
was. He just kind of fronted the thing. Okay, you know what? Thinking back on it, like he sang on a couple of songs, but he was just, dude. He was like an ex-Boston fucking like mafia.
So he was
dude.
like the manager.
Yeah, he was, but he would also take part in the stage
Some
show a
songs,
little
yeah.
bit. But his way of doing things was like, I mean, oh my god, like
You know,
talk
when
about,
they did a crooner song, he got up there and sang it his way. Some
you know
Sinatra.
You know what? That's pretty on
Yeah,
par.
You didn't even need to tell
Dude,
me.
he was a
I
fucking
knew that.
con artist, this
Yeah.
guy.
So that's why he loves Sinatra.
In some of the best ways, though. It's like the kind of
Yeah.
thing where you watch this guy in action and you
Oh, I'm
learn
sure
a
it
little
was-
something.
You learned something.
You learn about human interaction. You learn about how to sell yourself in rich environments and how to keep your head low with a big smile.
Yeah.
So nobody
Big smile,
knows.
like you mean it.
Yeah, smile like you. I'm really.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but it takes a lot to learn how to smile in the right environments.
Yeah.
You know, because you find yourself like, okay, let's talk about like what is it the heavy metal scene, right?
Okay.
There ain't a lot of smiles in heavy metal.
True.
No, you hang out in the dark corner. You got your patches. You got your patches on your denim jacket with the arms cut off, and you fucking look at who's not metal enough. That's what you do all night.
Everyone.
Nobody's as metal as me. That's why I play Magic the Gathering.
Except that guy.
Magic the Gathering makes me more metal.
It's true.
So if you're like used to that sort of a thing, and then you get involved in now we're talking to like people who are willing to pay 20 grand for a fucking wedding band, and like
those are very different.
Yeah. And my outfit, like I wasn't told to wear specific things when it came to going to these gigs, so I always stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
But I also learned that if you wanted to like commit an assassination, say for instance on somebody who was like
say you're part of the crew.
All you have to do is say that you're part of the crew. Actually, it works every time.
Yeah.
You just go, no, I'm part of the.
It never doesn't work.
If you show up at midnight, which is probably about the time that something's ending, because midnight's just the time that things are ending. So just go somewhere where you can hear music, walk to the truck entrance, and then just say, "Oh, I'm part of the band. I'm here to tear down when they're done." Nobody fucking questions you at all.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I used to think about that all the time. I mean, like I could just kill people here. Like I could just if I could pick one guy.
Yeah.
And like
have a guy.
And just like think of like, okay, if I had a briefcase,
sexist.
If I had I'll hit the lady through the guy.
Okay, good.
That way she gets all of the stopping power, and they have to like dig out the bullet from her chest.
Yeah.
But it didn't like kill her. That way she can tell her story later.
Well, that's the bullet that hits the guy in the nutsack, gets the woman, right in the hip, and it lodges in, and then she gets pregnant later on. That one.
The son of a gun,
yes,
son of a
the
gun
son of a
story.
gun. Yeah, exactly.
I think they actually I think they tested that on MythBusters.
Did they?
Yes.
There's no way they.
Yes, they did. Yes,
how do
they
you
did.
test?
I don't know how they did it. I'm not going to get into like attempting
I hope
to
it's true.
remember how it was they did it,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure they had an episode with that.
It's a virgin birth right there.
This is a hell of a like jumping of tangents, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. I remember one of the first episodes of MythBusters, they peed on the third rail. They're like, oh, we're going to test the third rail myth. So we're going to pee on the third rail. The third rail is the electrified rail of a train.
On the train. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's test the myth where peeing on the rail will actually get you electrocuted.
Yeah.
Okay. And they built a full-sized like plastic human that was hollow with a flaccid dick, and then they like blurred it out. They kept putting like a leaf over top of it the entire episode.
Yeah.
That was their like censoring,
So
because it was really
pee and
cheap
see
early
if it
on.
got electrocuted.
Yeah. Okay. But the way that they made it so it works is they just like corked a hole.
Yeah.
On the cock.
Undid it. Yeah.
And they would like pull it with a string, and they're like, he's peeing now. And I was always annoyed that they didn't take into consideration like abdominal pressure.
Sure, like pushing. Yeah.
Well, have you ever like taken a leak and you're like, harder, softer, harder, softer? Have you ever done that?
Sure.
Yeah,
Do you think that's going to make a difference? With
it does make a difference, because you can like flay your piss stream. Haven't you ever done that?
Okay, but how is that going to make a difference?
It doesn't make a difference per se. But
this is probably why
there is a control of your pee stream, and they didn't have one involved. So they just go, oh, it leaks out. It's like nobody just leaks their pee out unless they got a prostate problem.
Sure, but as long as it's a solid stream.
It wasn't one, though. That was the issue.
Well,
no, they had like a dribbly kind of like, the reason that...
Well, and by I mean like a solid stream, like something could potentially travel up it type of deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the fish in the Amazon River that you're not supposed to pee in,
There's like an episode of Jackass where like in the winter or something like that, a guy pees on, I think it's like
he's on the electric fence or whatever.
He pisses on the electric fence and he gets electrocuted on video. I mean, electrocuted means you died.
Yeah,
he gets shocked.
He gets shocked, yeah.
He gets shocked.
I mean,
he reacts to it. I mean, he could be faking it. Sure.
Yeah. And
but there are...
Jackass is a place where you'd fake it.
I would think so. But
I'm not saying that is
there
that it is
are
not true.
recorded instances that they were trying to debunk, being like, oh, we've got this news article here or something like that. Okay, well, there are more videos than just that one thing of Jackass.
Yeah.
Where, what's-his-face got fucking shocked, okay? I'm just saying that they didn't take into account that they can apply more pressure while peeing, and that you just might, like for fun. Like, have you ever just been fucking...
I mean, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just personally don't know if it makes a difference.
I think that it would, because if you applied enough pressure to make it so that the stream was mostly straight,
but
plus there's rifling in your cock. They didn't even take that into consideration. You've got a rifled wiener.
Again, the only thing that I can think would actually make the difference is if it was making sure the stream is consistent, as in, you know what I mean? Like it is, like there's no gaps in it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that it creates for lack of a better word, a circuit, right? You know what I mean? A straight line. That is the only thing that I could imagine being the difference between those two things.
Yeah.
So as long as they had that, then I don't think there's any issue there. If they didn't have it, then that's the issue. But
when they had slow-mo video to show you what the stream looked like.
Yeah.
And everybody has years of experience of looking at their own stream. And then also like pushing harder and less of that.
I think you're really hitting on this pushing harder thing. I don't think that's the difference here.
I think that it is.
I think the difference is how concentrated the stream is, yes.
Right.
But it's not the fact that you can push harder or not.
What about what your diet
I mean, what it
consists
should
of?
have been is a squeeze water bottle.
What if they were
it should have been.
What if they were mostly drinking brine water?
I mean, that is
then
a whole
you would
other
think
thing.
that what if you're taking what if you're taking iron supplements?
Well, so that
they didn't
is
take
a thing.
any of that in consideration.
That is a thing. The fact that they didn't use real human piss.
No, they made up piss. They just used yellow water.
Well, yeah, then that's.
I think that's what they did. Yeah. Well, they should have vitamin water.
Cancel the show. Get it out of here.
This was like the first episode.
Yeah.
No, but like
when they're still figuring shit out.
But there was like millions.
And they're not even scientists.
But they did all these follow-ups, and like I even follow like Tested on YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
And
yeah.
And nobody has ever. I don't think that
Sandwich is
there's
great.
any instance where anybody
Somebody
has
asked
brought
them about
up the first episode and been like, that pee stream, that was stupid.
Well, it's probably because it was their fucking first episode. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. So,
All right, fair enough.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Speaking of piss, you know what's bullshit is when you're trying to take a leak and then you're like, okay, or you know what? Peeing standing up is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just admit.
Just sit down.
Just admit to the fact that it never works.
Look, you want to browse Reddit anyway.
It's like it's you're just making a mess for yourself always to clean up.
Oh yeah,
around
yeah,
the
yeah.
rim, everything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even matter like what It does not even matter what your like your position is or your stance or anything like that. It always goes everywhere.
It could just do this.
And I've definitely seen that.
I've definitely seen.
Yeah,
it.
no,
I know. Yes,
right.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's often, but it happens.
Even consider applying the reasonable amount of pressure.
Yes.
All right, just the right amount to pee.
Your stream goal split.
Sometimes just like you just see your cock laughing at you with a little dribble. It's like bleh, just spitting out the side while you've got a normal stream going. You're like, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna have to clean up again.
Clean up this shit.
Why am I even doing this? I could sit down just equally. It would handle this just fine.
Yep.
But instead, it's like, no, let's build up like a yellow fucking surge of rim here so I can stare at it, get annoyed, and then clean it up once a week.
Yum.
I mean, you should clean it up more often, but I'm saying, sometimes
but yes, I know what you mean.
you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or like sometimes you just end up like, I mean, you'd have to have hair, but if there was a hair, you'd have to, that could get in front of your dick stream.
Sure.
That's
this whole other issue.
But sometimes there's just like something in there.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know what's in there. I don't know. It's just like hanging out.
Some kind of blockage.
Some kind of block. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes there's just some odd blockage, and you're just like, oh, let's splay out at like 2 forks, and none of them go in the toilet.
Just got all around
What
the
is
balls.
this?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that shit happens all the time.
And you let your guard down in a public restroom?
No.
Because you go to a public restroom.
Well,
because
like, you don't care.
Oh, did I hit the backside?
Doesn't matter.
Did I hit the back of the rim? Oh, silly me. Let me also hit the wall and the
Just
plunger
gonna
and
use
then back.
echolocation at this point.
That's what you do in the dark.
Yeah. Just like, nope, that didn't hit. All right.
Did you know? It's like you hear the sound of you hear the sound of like your dishwasher running in the distance, and then like compare that to like actual water hitting water, and you're like, you're like, okay, I finally hit it.
I got it. All right, there we go.
Is it up or is it down?
Is it all around?
Saying, you don't know like which direction you need to adjust for.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
So you just gotta see what happens. Talking about the real issues.
Let's talk about dental health.
What about your teeth?
Well, what about yours? I know that you grind your teeth.
Yeah.
You said that you grind your teeth. But you have no control over it whatsoever.
Nope.
What kind of solutions have they offered up to you for that?
I have a mouth guard.
You have one. Do you use it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been able to like stop now that it's became like it's done.
No, I mean I still do it, but
right
now there's something in the middle, so it helps. But
okay.
But now I have 2 very sharp incisors from them rubbing up.
What are they? Is it helped with anything? Has that been an adaptation?
Oh no, it's awful because when I bite my tongue, it creates blood instead of not blood.
How often do you bite your tongue?
I mean, not often, but it happens.
Yeah, of course. Like I don't know, like chewing gum. Do you chew gum?
Not often, but I do.
Okay. And when you chew gum, like you go until it doesn't taste so good anymore, and then you spit out that piece.
Sure. Or you add a second piece.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You add a second piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I wanted a bigger amount of gum in the first place, but I couldn't justify tossing two pieces in because it's going to waste the flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, juicy fruit's one of my favorites. And it don't last.
You're just setting yourself up for sadness.
I know. It's just like 2 minutes later, you're like, it's gone. It's gone. Why'd you do this to me?
I get Trident usually.
Yeah. No.
Because I like. Gum. Well, and then also you get to be like, oh, I'm
cleaning my teeth.
I am cleaning my teeth while chewing.
My teeth.
Hooray. And I always get like the minty flavored one or something like that. And it's like kind of an off mint. Like it's not quite the right mint.
Off mint.
Like it's not a peppermint.
You're like, that doesn't taste like the mint I know.
What's missing?
Yes, it's cooling.
Yes. It is cooling. It's refreshing.
It's not exactly mint.
Not exactly mint. And it makes you poo more. Because it's xylitol. Xylitol is the flavoring. Which is also in peppermint schnapps. And just to let you know, if you don't mix peppermint schnapps and just go a whole night drinking that,
you gonna fart it out.
You're not gonna fart it out.
Yes,
you're going to liquefy everything inside of you.
Well, as in fart it out.
Okay.
As in you thought a fart was coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Oh my God, you just reminded me of something that I can't talk about. We'll talk about it sometime.
So dental health, I mean, I hate dealing with my teeth.
All right.
It just sucks.
But you brush, floss, mouthwash twice a day? Do the whole thing?
I don't floss twice a day. I floss once a day.
You got to do it twice a day. Do you eat meat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to floss twice a day.
Not every day. I floss once a day.
You eat meat?
I floss once a day.
It's all up in there.
That's enough.
It's in there.
Yeah, but
what are you doing, in the morning or at night?
At night.
Okay. All right.
But that's the thing. I don't eat meat for breakfast, usually. Yeah. So,
the presumption is like that nobody does. Like for some reason, like the staple meals seem to be like a sugary bowl of stupid cereal, or a sandwich, and then steak. And like, and that's like all anybody knows for lunch.
Yeah,
like a sandwich and a bag of Lay's, and then a fucking and then it's like liver and onions for dinner. Like why these wild separate? What are you having? A turkey leg for dinner?
Because the English were disgusting.
Because you would never have that for lunch.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a turkey leg for lunch.
Or like breakfast.
It is weird that we have specific types of food for specific day times. Because, like, if it's food, it should be food, right?
Yeah.
But it's really interesting just to, say to somebody, hey, you want bratwurst for breakfast? Like, no. You
know what? Nobody knows what a diet is.
I mean, that's true.
Nobody has any idea what a diet is. They think a diet is when you do a thing for a little while, and then you go, let's have cake. Yeah. It's not that, though.
A diet is actually just what you eat.
You know when you feed your dog, and he eats the same thing every day?
Yeah, it sucks.
So do people in Ethiopia. That's why they're skinny.
Yeah.
And also starving.
Because food isn't exciting for them.
No,
and
because
also
food's not really supposed to be exciting.
No, yeah.
It can be.
Yes.
But it's a trick. I think it's a trick of the mind and also of like the times.
Of course, yeah.
But okay, so like people go, the new diet trend that'll have you lose weight in 6 weeks. And you're like, what is it? It's like eat anything you want except for that one thing. You're like, well, what's that one thing? Well, you can't have bacon anymore.
It's also like that can't be good for you either.
You're like, oh, cool. I lost 5 pounds thinking about bacon harder because I wasn't eating it as often.
I mean, let's be honest. I like bacon.
Everybody likes bacon.
I like bacon.
You like bacon because it will kill you. That's why you like it.
No, I just mean like, let's be honest. I like bacon, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, fine.
But who the fuck's eating bacon all the time?
Why is it on everything?
There's no reason. And again, I love me some bacon. Bacon's good, but it's not internet bacon good. You know what I mean? Like where it's not. It shouldn't be its own meme.
No, it shouldn't.
Of like whatever. Again, love bacon, but like. Why? Why is it on ice cream?
How come nobody
Why
says,
is it on fucking,
How come nobody ever says, I sure do. It's like, I love bacon. And also all the pimples and the weird bowel movements that come along with it.
Avocado and bacon for some reason.
Because it's just vegetable fat and then,
animal fat.
The fact that it's not.
It's all fat.
How come nobody's gone, oh, well, they have. Somebody's done this. I bet you it's just like pancake, sandwich, slathered in peanut butter with bacon.
I'm sure that
because vegetable fat Shit,
Meat fat.
meat fat, and then fucking
And then
pancake,
dough.
and then dough.
Yeah.
Right. Fried in a pan, likely with butter. Probably also topped with butter.
You want to know what is real fucking weird?
Sure.
Pancakes.
Pancakes in
Are
general.
fucking weird. Like,
How come there's so many different versions of it?
I just mean weird. Like, just think about it. Like, it's just like fried batter, and the only reason it tastes good is because we put a sugary and buttery substance on top. Like, you eat a dry pancake. It sucks. It blows.
Yeah, it does.
You're not, like, no. You know what? One dry pancake, fine. Eat 2 dry pancakes, motherfucker. I dare you.
It's like having
dare you.
It's like having the cracker challenge where you're supposed to eat
yeah.
a whole bunch
Where
of
you're just,
packets.
right, without water, and you're yeah. And fucking, but like, the weird thing about pancakes is it's only a vehicle for syrup and butter.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, that's such a weird thing for breakfast.
That's how I used to treat carrots. I would buy carrots and then just dip them into organic peanut butter because it's like it's all slick and
That
oily.
sounds great.
It is.
Yeah.
But the carrot was just an excuse to eat way too much peanut butter.
Sure, but at least you're also eating a carrot and not a pancake.
But you don't think about peanut butter being an issue?
But it's super fattening.
It's just beans. It's beans.
Nuts.
Because they're legumes.
Peanuts
They're
are
beans.
legumes, aren't they? Yeah.
So they're beans.
Yeah, I guess they are beans.
Which when you eat a
All
whole bunch
beans.
of
Oh,
peanuts,
beans. Sorry, yeah.
when you eat a whole bunch of peanuts, you get the same effects as if you end up eating like baked beans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so this just ends up being like its own issue that you don't even know of. It's all bloating and all this whole thing. It's not even
all
really like an allergy.
It's all bloating.
Yeah.
It's all bloating.
Well, yeah.
No, I believe you. Yeah.
Yeah. But so like with it,
But Nutella's healthy for you, right?
of course it is. Yeah. Because
it's hazelnut.
it's hazel
It's
butter.
hazelnut.
It's hazelnut butter.
Yeah.
Is that it? No, it's not. It's not that.
No, it's 2% hazelnut and a bunch of fucking sugar and chocolate and blah.
And then you have
know,
what is it? You have almond butter?
yes.
You're like, "Oh, really? Oh,
That's
you
a
know
thing.
what? It's the royalty of butters." You're like, "Oh, yes, the almond."
Almond butter.
The almond.
Oh.
The nut that you're only supposed to eat like 12 of.
Mm-hmm.
Like they give them to you in a package of like a huge amount.
And you eat them all.
It's like $50 for like 1 pound.
Nuts be expensive.
Those particular ones do.
Yeah.
They also milk them, which must be painful for the nut. And
Must be. Has to be.
I can't imagine the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like only supposed to eat 12, or else it like does something to your insides. They're like, oh, that's enough protein. That's enough nut protein or some shit like that. Like ask a vegan like how many nuts you're supposed to eat. It's like only a few of them. Like you're not even able to like fill up.
Of course, you can't fill
No,
up
you're
on
not.
nuts.
But you're not.
Can't fill up on nuts. It's fucking crazy.
Why not?
I don't know.
Well, I know why. Because what happens on the other side?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's like a whole. It's like you're building.
It's concentrated shit.
You're making a pate.
It's because
That's the best you're doing though.
Yeah.
Because it's not binding to
A
anything.
pate.
Well, there's not enough. Like there isn't even enough fiber in fiber
Fancy
to really
feast.
do anything for you.
Teats.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
No, like okay, so on the subject of diets, like people think that they are allowed. People think that they're supposed to get to just eat different things every day, and then they want to know like why it is that they're like.
I mean, I know why they
emotions-
want to do it, but
yeah,
yes,
but then they want to know like why their emotions are all over the place and why they've got like no semblance of control in their lives. And it's like, well, it's because if you just ate the same fucking thing, then you wouldn't think so much about it.
I think those two things are conducive to each other, not.
They're not
but
directly
not-
related at
yes,
all
They
times.
correlate. No, I don't even mean. I just mean the type of people who vary wildly in emotions and temperament are also the type of people who will do anything that their immediate reaction is. So those are the type of people who tend to eat a bunch of fucking things all the time because they're the type of people that have a low control over themselves.
All right.
So they buy the first thing that they see, you know.
Well, that's
Yeah.
who the stores are set up for.
Yeah, of course.
But that means that that's like the majority of people. Because if the store is
Not
set up,
necessarily.
if
No,
the store is set up in such
'cause
a way
I'm-
to exploit those people, then they must be a large enough market value to be doing such a thing.
Yeah, but what I'm more saying is that there are people out there who eat different things all the different time and have no issues with that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm just saying that specifically is there is something to it, but I just think that's more correlation.
No,
than
I think
causation, you know?
you're right.
Yeah. Mhm.
You're right to say so.
Yeah. But I mean, you're also not wrong if you eat a bunch of fucking different shit.
I mean, I'm
you know?
grandstanding for the hell of it.
Yeah, because you eat the same thing every day and you want to feel good about yourself.
I'm just trying to rationalize myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is just me rationalizing my own
Stop
decision.
yelling at me. and you do have a point. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I eat a couple different things over the week. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the meat changes. The spices change.
Yeah.
The basis for what it is that you're doing. I mean, sometimes you'll add... We're not here to talk about my diet. We're just here to talk about...
I kind of sounds like you want to talk about your
I
diet.
don't want to talk about my diet.
You just want to talk about everybody else's diet.
I want to talk about how... Okay, it's just... but what the fuck is going on with breakfast? What's going on with it?
Breakfast's fucking weird, man.
But it's like, go back to sleep, asshole. That's what breakfast is. Breakfast is, hey, did you want to have a good day? Fuck you. Eat pancakes. That's a good idea.
Like the worst
have
thing.
sugary-ass cereal that makes you
Sugary-ass
crash
cereal.
by fucking 9 o'clock.
Yep.
I mean, you got children. They got to get up for the bus at 4 in the fucking morning. They got to wait around for an hour and a half till 5:30, so the bus actually shows up, ride it for 30 fucking minutes while they pick up a bunch of other kids who also had fucking...
You gave them root beer with their Captain Crunch.
Yes, exactly
what did you
did.
expect?
And then they get to school, and it's like chocolate milk, pizza made out of shitty bread.
And sugar.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
But, and then you want to know why, somebody can't fucking focus on what's going on in math class.
Because you set them up to fail.
Well, exactly what you did.
Yeah. Yep.
To save a penny, because you cheaped out on the good shit, so that for something that you'll have to deal with for years.
The food pyramid.
Speaking of fucking
the government
cheaping,
made the food
is
pyramid.
it still a pyramid? I have to ask.
I mean,
I think they wrote that off.
It's widely believed to be bullshit at this point because it was just bread at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bread and grain. Just fill up on bread and grain.
That is what holy
what
shit.
Are we at
that
the
is what it
depression,
said.
you motherfucker?
That is what it said.
Yeah. Fill up on bread and grain.
And then the next level is just like government cheese and peanut butter.
Yes, that's
And it's
exactly, yeah.
Shouldn't we be questioning government? I mean, it says literally government cheese and peanut butter. Don't ask questions about the food pyramid.
Why is the rest of dairy above that one? No,
That's
well, because it's not technically real cheese.
Why are eggs dairy?
Yeah.
But they're not. But they are.
That's actually very interesting.
Yeah, but they're not, but they are.
That's very interesting.
Just because they're in the dairy aisle, but they're not in the dairy aisle, they're just in the refrigerated aisle now. But they used to be in the dairy aisle.
Yeah.
And then so is orange juice. So what the fuck's going on with dairy?
They're in the dairy aisle because, you think about cows and chickens living together. That's it.
Okay. So what? So a cow gets milked next to a chicken, and now its eggs are fucking dairy? Why?
Egg. I have no idea.
What else is for breakfast?
That's weird.
What else is for breakfast?
It's also probably because usually most things you use with eggs, you usually mix milk in with it.
Okay, but what else is for breakfast?
Okay,
pancakes,
so pancakes, shitty
we've done
cereal.
breakfast cereal, yeah.
We've done breakfast cereal.
Toast.
Which is just fucking bad for you.
Okay, so toast.
Toast.
All right, so
fine.
what do you put on your toast?
Me?
Jam. You're supposed to put jam on your toast.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah, jam and
it's always
potentially
jam
peanut
or butter.
Yeah.
No, nobody talks about peanut butter. If you ever okay, you know what?
Oh, come on.
You
cannot tell me nobody talks about peanut butter.
They do, but it's always Jif or some shit.
Yeah.
But no, here's what we got to do. All right, you got to think
it's
of
usually some kind of jam or jelly or.
But here's the image that's in my head. Let me
butter,
make sure that
or
I'm
just
making sure
butter.
that it's clear. The image in my head of breakfast is either what you can order at a diner when you go there and you see the breakfast menu.
Yeah.
Like think of a Denny's.
I see what
all
you're
right?
saying.
Or
See what you're saying.
the picture that they give you for the kids cereal commercial where it says part of a balanced breakfast. And it shows you the balanced
and
breakfast.
It's a big old glass of orange juice, a sugary ass bowl of cereal, and some toast with butter on it or some shit.
Yeah. And then they're like, no dental health care for anybody ever, and also eat all of this until you're 18.
It's part of the reason why we have so much problems with our teeth is all the processed food.
And we talk about the British like they got a fucking problem.
Yeah, the British just have a problem with straightening their teeth.
Well, you know what? I would rather have crooked teeth with no cavities than a rotted out mouth.
No, I'm not saying they don't have cavities. I'm just saying that's why we make fun of their teeth is because they don't care about straightening them. And Americans care.
I don't think we have a right to have that trope with them anymore.
I mean, you're probably right. And also, I don't see British people and think your teeth look fucked up. Last person I saw was Austin Powers, and I'm pretty sure that means the joke is dead.
Yeah, but even his fucked up teeth in the movie weren't that bad.
No, I know. Yeah.
Like they were still functional teeth.
Again, it was a joke.
Yeah, I know
so
it was.
It was dead.
But I'm just saying,
even the joke. That means it's dead.
Okay, because it was in a movie, so you're saying like it's not even really a thing anymore. All right. And then also, of course, like who are the most famous British actors and all that stuff that you know? They all have perfectly fine teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Gary Oldman. Looking at you, Michael Caine.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Looking at you, is Idris Elba English? I think he is. Looking at you, Idris Elba.
What else is for breakfast? Waffles, but that's pancakes with holes in it.
Yeah, so I will say one thing about this.
Sure.
And I never have waffles.
Uh-huh.
Waffles are superior to pancakes in every way.
When made with a waffle smasher.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Eggos, okay?
I'm talking about Eggos.
I'm not.
I know, but you got to go to a Days Inn to get those waffles.
Oh, okay, because we're still going out to eat this breakfast. I see. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You are right.
Or a Golden Corral, which you know that you're
sure Denny's has a
you're
good
gonna miss
waffle.
everything up to the waffles before you see them because they're next to the ice cream.
That's fucking true.
Yeah, you got
your plate is fucking piled high, and you're just like, God damn, I didn't know there were waffles.
It's just like the church.
No,
the church potluck.
Yeah,
it's the same
good
issue.
things always at the fucking.
It is. So you wait.
Yeah. You're like, I didn't know you had crab rangoons.
Almost all of life is teaching you.
Now I got to put it on top of my lasagna?
Isn't it odd that there's like endless, throughout like most of your life, you're endlessly being taught, hey, wait for the slightly better thing instead of impulsively getting this other thing right now.
Do you do that? So this is another side. Do you do the thing where if you have a couple things on your plate, you save the best part for last?
Yeah, I separate my food as I go, but I mix it a little bit.
No, I do mix food. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if it's good together. But usually if it's just like, okay, so I don't like peas.
Okay.
In fact, I fucking hate them. It's one of the, like, two things. I hate peas, and I don't care for mayo.
All right. I don't care for mayo either.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I won't eat mayo. It just means if it's gloopy, no.
That weird like schmegma-y sort of thing on the
no.
side when it's like the top
got
got spun on top of
the
little bit of mayo residue in the fucking threading.
Yep. Yes. Oh,
okay.
Yep.
And then you come back to get some and you're like,
bit.
what happened?
What happened
It's
here?
all gelatinous.
What happened here? It's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't care for mayo and I hate peas.
Gotcha.
Now, I don't know why I hate peas. I don't fucking like them.
Well,
they don't taste that great.
It's a great mini wrinkly of something.
They don't taste that great. I don't like the way they pop. Makes me feel uncomfortable. And the worst smell is just a bowl of steaming hot peas with nothing else in them. God,
Really?
that's awful. Yeah, that's awful. Can't stand it. But of course that means that my wife thinks I'm joking when I say I don't like peas because I will still eat the peas because I'm a fucking human being. I'm no longer a child.
Yeah.
I will eat what is on my plate unless it's like making me fucking hurl. But
Are these peas by themselves? Just like, oh, you get a spoonful?
If that were the case, which thankfully is not usually,
okay,
that means I'm mixing it in with whatever. Like if I got mashed potato, mix it in with the mashed potatoes. Can't taste the peas. We good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like why it's like I say I don't care for mayo. I'm gonna have fucking pasta salad that's got mayo in it because guess what? Mostly it doesn't taste like mayo. It tastes like the other things.
Right.
That's a lubricant. You know what I mean? Like, mayo's just a lubricant. Like, you know, it's very lightly on there. It's like it's well, here's the thing. It's like I don't care for mayo. Chipotle mayo though, cover me in that shit.
That's spicy.
Yeah, and it doesn't taste like mayonnaise. It tastes like the spice.
But it fucks up your insides. Or at least that's the meme.
I mean, let it happen. but
right.
The point is, so generally, no, that I mix it up with something if it's just a thing on its own. Also, if it's a thing on its own, I don't have to take it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't have to take it. But what that means is, every now and again, we make things like chicken pot pie,
which has peas.
That, according to everyone in the world, has to have peas in it.
Why?
Could be anything else.
It's like if mac and cheese had to have peas. You know, like when they make baked mac and cheese. It's like, no, there's no rules with mac and cheese.
No, you just put whatever in it.
Mac and cheese is just like, hey, here's cheese, here's pasta, and here's a bunch of other random shit, just
whatever
like a melt.
You want. Lobster. Fuck it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Bacon.
Hey, let's make a whole restaurant based around throwing random stuff into cheese and pasta.
And that's fine.
And people will love it. You know why? For the same principles as to why they love bacon.
Yeah.
Because it will kill you.
Because it will kill you. Because good things kill you.
Because stuff that tastes, because pleasure in the mouth.
Yeah.
Pleasure in the mouth is something that has to be mitigated.
Yes.
And nobody thinks about it.
All I'm saying, I don't like peas. Sometimes we have things that have peas in it, and when that happens, it means I will try to eat all the peas as quickly as possible because I'm going to hate my life the whole time, so I might as well just eat them all right now, wash it down, and then enjoy myself.
What are peas even doing for you in the food?
I don't know.
Like,
Just
as a
tasting
food.
bad.
But as a food, what are they doing for you?
It's the shitty English way of saying, I still have vegetables in this.
I think once they're out of the pod, you're kind of getting rid of most of the fibrous material that would have been useful for having had eaten
I would much rather eat peas in a pod.
Because at least there's something going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some flavor, like
Yeah.
probably better, like, and again, fiber, as you said. Hey, doesn't matter.
Right.
Snap peas are great.
Okay.
Yeah?
Lima beans. My grandmother used to make lima beans.
Lima beans.
She would make buttered beans. That's what you get.
Buttered beans.
Okay? That's what you have them for dinner. You have them buttered
Ain't nobody
beans,
gonna butter your
mashed
beans.
potatoes and gravy, and then a chicken fried steak.
What is a chicken fried steak?
It's a
I know
steak
what it is. I'm just kidding.
that's been fried up like
With
chicken.
Yeah. Like the chicken
It's
was
just
the chef.
battered,
No.
thin
No,
steak,
I know.
overcooked, and
Yes.
then oily.
Mhm.
That's what it
Overcooked
is.
because you might die.
It is diarrhea tomorrow. That is all it
Yep,
is.
yep.
All right? Or diarrhea right now, depending upon how quickly your body reacts.
Depending
Buttered
on if you're
beans.
standing or not.
Okay, but so you get lima beans from a can because, not for any real particular reason, other than
Because that's how you bought them.
because she lived in a double wide.
Yeah.
That's why they came in a can. They came in a can
I
because
won't knock things just because they come in a can.
no, but usually when it comes to it's filled with a bunch of liquid that's been salted or something like that.
Yeah. Brined.
I'm recalling a very specific time when we're pulling buttered bean or lima beans out of a can.
Butter beans.
And then they were cooked, they were buttered, all the nonsense.
Butter beans!
Collard greens, buttered beans.
I love collard greens, by the way.
Rare that you get good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Only
yeah,
collard green. This is a side note. We'll get to it in a second. All right. It was. So my older brother was eating the buttered beans and
Okay.
fucking bites into a staple. Just like a staple left over in the can.
In the can,
So they
of
were
course,
canned and all I could
Yeah,
imagine.
staple plant.
All I can imagine was there was a dispute
There's probably
between
a guy walking around.
Right.
with a- Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
got the staple gun, and he goes, "Hey Liz, think fast!" Click, like snaps one
Yep.
at her, and it just landed in a can while it was getting
yeah.
packaged, and nobody saw it
everybody just
happen. Because if you fire a staple
No,
gun,
if somebody saw it, they just went, probably went on the floor and you can't see it.
that's actually probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, nobody gave a shit.
Mhm.
He's like, whatever. One can. That one probably will end up in a homeless food bin anyways.
Like that time I found a joint in a amp.
Found a joint in an amp.
Yeah.
That's
before-
where a joint belongs.
That's true. But it was before I shipped it out to somebody.
Cool. Did you take it?
I gave it to somebody. I can't remember.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
But it would have been real bad if it ended up for young Timmy's birthday.
Oh, young Timmy
know?
learning what life is all about,
As he
unlocking his mind. That's what it sounds like when your brain unlocks.
did. Where'd you get this? Nothing. Anyway, food.
When I was
Breakfast food.
when I was a teenager,
Fucking waffles are better than pancakes, all right?
I agree with you.
You know what's great? Waffles and applesauce. God damn.
What are you
You ever
doing
had
with?
waffles and applesauce?
No.
It's good.
Okay, why is an Eggo got a strawberry on top? Why are they doing that? What are you slicing a fucking strawberry and putting it on top for the commercials?
It is kind of gilding the lily a little bit, but
You can eat an Eggo by itself. You just,
yeah,
but
because they got to pretend to make it fancy.
it's not
It's
fancy.
like nobody's putting parsley on a plate with a hot pocket, but that's what's in the picture, right? Yeah.
Lean pockets.
Okay.
They just taste like Alfredo.
Oh.
Well, because that's what they.
I mean, the cheesy ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, what's up with the?
I bet the meatball lean pockets don't taste like.
Why is there a
Alfredo.
whole head of broccoli in there?
It's good for you.
Not when it's in a,
I know, not when it's in a lean
not
pocket.
when it's a lean pocket
but
with
it-
Alfredo.
but better than something else. You know?
I had a
Because something's got to be there, and if it ain't bacon, it's gonna be broccoli.
I had a poor friend growing up. Poor as in he would tell you that he was poor. You saw his place and you knew that he kind of was.
Okay.
So what was odd about it was he always had Hot Pockets and he always had cheap bread and he always had cheap lunch
Cheap
meats.
bread sucks,
Cheap bread. Like,
man.
talk about cheaping out.
I
Like,
had
can
cheap
you
bread,
spend the extra dollar on bread that's actually bread?
No. Not when you live in a trailer.
Well, he lived in it was like a rental house or something, but the whole
Oh,
place
okay.
smelled like the carpets had been endlessly peed upon. Not a whole lot you can do about that.
Yep.
And so
By drunk dad.
he did have a drunk dad.
Yeah, of course he did.
Well, actually, no. He had a dad who was drunk on Mountain Dew because he
That's
stopped
worse.
drinking.
That's worse.
Yeah, well, he had a heart attack at like the age of 35.
So I'm gonna have Mountain Dew.
No, he drank Mountain Dew and smoked cigarettes, and that's all he did. So he would have like 8 Mountain Dews a day.
That's fucking gross.
Endless amounts of Mountain Dew.
Gross.
Yeah, and he had a
Gross.
heart attack at like 35.
That makes sense.
And I was sleeping on his. I was sleeping at his place when this heart attack happened. So I wake up and I see ambulance lights and I hear all the things that are happening, but I fake sleep the whole thing.
Oh, of course. Hell yeah.
I was like,
nope.
I'm not awake.
This is not my problem.
I'm not awake for this.
It's not my problem
No.
to deal with. I'm not getting fucked up because of this.
No. I'm
No,
not standing
and
up.
I'm not getting blamed for not saving the situation. I'm going to be right here asleep.
I'm not engaging the trauma. That's not what's happening.
I miss being a child and being awake and not being able to sleep. Like, and I don't miss it. I just miss the feelings and the thoughts I would get of just like
Of
that.
childhood insomnia?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I had it all the time. But I just mean like there's a certain nostalgia looking back on just like, well, that was weird because the biggest problem I had to worry about was that my foot hurt kind of. You know what I mean? Like, and just being like, and then being like scared that the dishwasher came on. You know what I mean? Because that's
Why?
Just because the noise came
scary?
at it. Well, just because you were so focused on the night that a noise happened. You're like, okay.
This has been an incredibly ADHD episode.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like quickly touch back onto why I was bringing up the guy and the poor kid because it
Oh,
had to
yeah,
deal with
yeah, sure.
food. And then I'm going to touch on something
Look,
you just reminded
his
me
father
of.
had a heart attack. We
No,
need
he
to
did.
talk about that.
But what the
Okay.
thing was, well, that
Uh-huh.
that was
Yeah,
about
anyway, keep
all I
going.
know
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
The
Poor
thing
bread,
was is that he
Hot
had
Pockets. I had
it was
Hot Pockets
the
all the
food
time
that
as
he
a kid.
had. Okay, but he
Tony's Pizza.
He would come over to my place. We had food. He got to eat our food. I thought the rules applied at his place too, so I thought, flip the script. I get to eat your food, and it was never. I wasn't allowed to eat his food. I wanted a sandwich.
Oh, you mean snack wise, like dinner time you could eat, but
What's dinner time, Alex?
that's true.
When you have a single father who drinks Mountain Dew only and has a
There ain't
night
none.
shift job.
There ain't none.
No, there was no dinner. It didn't. It was. Do you want a Hot Pocket or do you want a sandwich slapped together with bologna and just mayo? No,
Hot
it wasn't
Pocket. You
mayo.
take the Hot Pocket.
It wasn't mayo. It was
Mustard.
Miracle Whip. Of course it was
course it-
because
yeah, it was
because
Miracle
if you're gonna cheap out on something, it's like
Yeah.
there.
I mean, he had a heart attack.
Yeah, because yeah. So anyway, I just remember just being like always really annoyed that I wasn't allowed to have a bologna sandwich.
Okay.
But like I know what a bologna sandwich costs today. I know what it means to be poor too.
Yeah, but he didn't.
to scrape by a thing. Yes, he did. He just didn't want me to have one because he wanted more of them.
Yes. No, but what I mean, he didn't, as in he didn't realize how much it actually cost. He just knew that it was a problem to get them.
All right, fine. I'm being a little bit overly sensitive to a very old problem.
Well, in fact, you're being not sensitive enough is the problem.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. Yes.
I'm being overly sensitive in my offense.
Personal way. Correct. Yeah.
But not sensitive enough
He's
to
just
realizing what these sandwiches meant to
Dad
him.
hit me the last time I ate too much.
Maybe.
You can't say it did or didn't happen. I'm just
no.
saying that
This particular person
an
may have-
ex-alcoholic who did nothing
All
but
right.
drink 8 Mountain Dews a day and
and
smoke
play
cigarettes
World of Warcraft, smoke cigarettes, and then go to
doesn't
work.
give me the confidence that
Yeah,
he
all
was a
right.
good father.
You make
but,
it. Well, he
hey,
wasn't,
he might have been a great father.
as
I don't
time was
know.
proven.
I don't know. He might have been a great
I
father.
think he's dead now.
I'm sure he is.
I believe he killed himself.
That makes sense.
I think that's what happened.
Don't kill yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
So, all right, to touch on what you said a little bit ago, the childhood insomnia. I used to gnaw on the side rail to my bunk bed.
I knew you were going to say bunk bed, and I don't know why I knew that.
Because what other bed has a side
Has
rail?
a side rail on it, exactly. Yeah.
And it would do it
Top
while,
bunk, right?
while like not being able to sleep at night. So it'd be like,
I can imagine. You
and I
doing
remember
that.
thinking,
Fucking beaver bitch.
well, I actually had a big gap in my teeth.
So you'd fit it in between the gap and just,
I don't know what I was doing. I just it was like soft fucking pine. It was soft pine wood.
Soft pine, and it gave.
It
when
did.
You bit.
It's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
why.
yeah,
So it's like it was very satisfying to rip off pieces of this wood and then just like flick it across the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just remember like I'm elevated in the bunk bed and it was a red bunk bed and there was like a window above the room.
What, you didn't get the plain wood grain, bitch?
Well, like similarly how there's these elevated windows here, like up the wall, and then you've got a window at like face height.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that in that
Like
room.
windows.
So the bunk bed got no. In a basement, it makes sense.
Yeah.
On a regular floor, that doesn't make any sense.
But in you weren't in a trailer.
No.
Okay.
No. It was a one-floor
Keep
house, and
The room in my the window in my bedroom was that.
was that
For
weird
some-
elevated.
yeah. Mhm.
So I'm elevated up to it, and I just remember like the first time I have a memory of I'm gonna stay up all night and watch the sunrise, and I think I did it when I was like 7, like the first time, and I ruined my whole next day of school.
awful, yeah.
But watching like I don't know, a very vivid memory of how many different colors came in the sky that morning. That was cool.
You grew up in Virginia, right?
I grew up in a lot of places, but I grew up in
During this
Virginia.
time.
No,
During
this
this
time
time.
I was actually this memory is from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. Well, okay. Raleigh, North Carolina is not very flat, is it? I don't think so. I've been there.
It's I mean I guess it's kind of hilly.
Because I'm just trying to imagine.
No, it's pretty
the only
flat.
Reason, the only reason I never did that was because I lived in a fucking valley. So you didn't see the sunrise until it was like 10. You know what I mean? I mean,
Okay.
there was light, obviously, but,
Right, but you didn't
didn't
see the
actually
thing.
see the sun come up.
Oh
you
no,
know?
I didn't like see
But-
this. I mean I don't know
Oh,
what
you
I
just
saw.
mean you saw the light
Yeah, I saw
happen.
the light happen.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
no, I didn't watch the sun and go blind.
Well, you did just say watch the sunrise.
Right.
But
Well, I
you know.
thought that everybody understood that sunrise meant you saw the lights.
Okay.
You were
I
there.
understand. I
You were
understand.
there for the part where the sun was rising.
Apparently.
Yeah. I was there for when the world turned in the right way.
But
so
usually
that the
when
sun
people
was
say,
visible
"Oh, we
again.
watched the sunrise," it means like you literally, like you didn't stare at the sun, but you
Yes,
were
that's right.
around the
I
area.
stole my parents' car and drove to the beach,
That's what I mean.
and I watched the sunrise.
I mean, you could have been on a mountain. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know where you live.
We were
I
on
don't
a
know what
hill.
the fuck you do.
it had
I
gumbo
thought
trees.
you were in Virginia.
I was. No,
you were
I
in
was
North
in Raleigh.
Carolina.
I was in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mhm.
All right. Well, oh no. So for
Fuck peas. Peas are awful.
peas are awful.
Waffles are great. Not good for you.
So we had a guest. There was a friend over, and he was I was being introduced to this person. It was a new person, very high energy human being, curious, very funny, fun to be around, but also like you're running at their pace now. Like this kind of person
Sure.
where it's like a bull, let go. You're at their pace now, and if you
Yeah.
can't keep up, well, fucking, what are you doing having them around?
China shop.
Okay, and he at one point in the night, he's like, he really wanted to show his teeth to everybody because he had
Why?
because he has teeth problems,
Ugh.
and he just because like he
Don't do that. Look, don't do that to people.
and he
Don't do that.
he's like he tried it with one person and they said no, I don't want to see your mouth, and then he just turns to me and then I was like, all right, fine, I'll look in there because I like morbid shit. I'll look in there, and I fucking oh my god. I mean,
Goatsy all over
I've
again.
seen some.
Mouths.
You've seen so like when they talk about like teeth liquefying,
Oh,
like that was the
that's
level.
enough. That's enough.
That's enough for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's like okay, because
Ugh.
yeah. So like, but there was one tooth in particular where it was broken in half, and he was wiggling it with his tongue, and I'll never forget it because it was just
No!
because he's like, look, he's like, I gotta get it out,
No!
and he's like, ow, my tooth, while doing it.
No! Don't do that.
And I was like,
It's awful.
it makes me feel like I felt bad. For
I
him.
fear losing all my teeth.
I know. Like you have the dream where you lose all your teeth.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All the time.
I used to have a dream where I would lose my eye, and then to save my eye, I had to suck on it in my mouth. I had to hold my eyeball in my mouth and suck on
Yeah.
it. But the problem was
You
is that
would
there
lose
was
your teeth.
no. The problem with the eye issue is that to save my eye, I have to keep it in my mouth. But the holding it in my mouth is slowly dissolving it. and turning it into like what a peppermint looks like
as you suck on it.
So
yeah.
like I would get in the dream usually
No,
the fear is
it's
staring
tiny.
at it's like I'll never save it. I've lost my eye forever. And it would be like just like the iris part, like the pupillary, that part. Yeah.
Colory part.
That'd be the colory part, and you would look at it and just like, and then you'd
like a
find
fucking jawbreaker.
and then you'd wake up and like find that your arms are asleep or something like
Yeah.
that because you're in a weird position
It's
to
the
have a
worst.
panic dream.
It's the worst.
'Cause usually your sleeping position is like affecting your dream state,
Almost always.
or what you ate before you went to bed.
Yeah, almost always. A spot of there's more gravy to you than grave. No.
What is that?
From fucking Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that reference.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
I've just forgotten.
So I need to say one thing before
All right,
we
go right ahead.
And that's because you specifically told me of a story of an interaction with a person you had where everybody was outside at night looking at the moon.
Oh my God.
And this person, to my recollection, again, this is your story, so you feel free to jump in. This person then said, look, doesn't that moon look fake?
No, he said that he looked up at the moon.
That moon
and
don't look right.
He said, "Look at that," and exclaimed, "That moon don't look right."
And then professed his flat Earth beliefs.
He said explicitly, "I'm a retarded flat earther," because that's what he said.
Those were the words that he said.
That's
Yep.
the words that he chose to say for himself.
And I've been thinking about that ever since you told me about it.
Okay.
And again, very specifically, that moon don't look right. And then somewhere later on in the conversation, you all can't tell me that moon looks right.
Yes.
Like angrily pointing out, like, none of you here can look at that moon and tell me that looks normal.
So what happened was we didn't engage it right away.
Of course.
And then 45 minutes later,
yes,
in a hotboxed
an
car,
outburst, an outburst,
in a hotboxed vehicle,
an outburst
an
occurs.
outburst of, "You can't tell me that moon don't look. That moon looks right to you."
And
to which now we're all being forced
now
to
you all have
engage
to be like, yeah, it looks weird. Yeah.
I was just gonna let you have what you believe.
Yeah.
I don't like. You know,
Yeah, of
I don't
course,
get
it's like
told about the good news
I'm
of
not
Jesus.
here getting off on calling you an idiot. You know.
I don't get told about the good news of Jesus and just go, "That ain't real.
Yeah.
That guy wasn't
You
real.
just nod your head and say, all right, you
That was
move
just
on.
some asshole.
Yeah.
He didn't get nailed to a cross.
Unless I'm feeling like an asshole.
He
like
didn't have 12
Like I
disciples.
would if I heard this. And it's only because the reason I can't stop thinking about it is one of the reasons he thinks we live on a flat Earth is because that moon don't look right. That is data he is gathering to prove his theory that Earth is flat. Now, let's not wonder at all about how that would ever mean the Earth is flat. Let's not wonder that. Okay? The thing that really keeps me awake at night about that is the fact that, well, if you believe we live on a flat Earth, then we've always lived on a flat Earth.
So the moon must look right.
So what about that moon would look not right?
Is he implying that the world has become
that the world
flat?
has become flat in the time that he's been alive?
Oh my God!
What? That
didn't even
is
think of
what my fucking problem is. I
didn't
can't
even think
stop
of
thinking about it. Klag, I can't. Because what about the moon not looking right means we now live on a flat Earth? Does that mean the moon always looked right before?
Oh my God!
What happened to it since then?
Oh my
and
God.
if that were the case, how would that be confirmation we live on a flat Earth? Because that either means you've always lived on a flat Earth, and then you've only ever seen a flat Earth moon all your life, so it should look normal. Right?
Yes.
What is going on here? That's what drives me crazy. I know there's no answer. I know.
I'm speechless.
That's the problem.
To the fact that I didn't even think of it.
It's
Because-
been bothering me the whole time.
Because when he said that, I just thought it was an expression of. I thought it was an expression of his own subconscious, saying that he knew there was a cognitive dissonance in his thinking.
Obviously, it must.
And was like almost
it
looking
has to
for
be.
somebody to argue him out of it.
Obviously, because otherwise, why would he bring it up again?
I don't know.
But still.
But why would that be the thing?
Why would that be the thing?
That's fucking nuts. I didn't
Because
even think of that.
again, if we have always lived on a flat Earth, then the moon would just still look like the moon because it always did. You could use the moon to say we live on a flat Earth because of another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nothing about the moon would look weird because it would always have been as it is.
I don't know what the whole story was and like what his specific theory is to.
Correct. Yes.
But it seemed like it was something to do with like it seemed there was an implication that there was a government cover up to the world being flat, and like maybe the moon was created to make you think it was round.
But again,
they put they put round things in the sky, so when you look at it and you go, well, those things must be like this thing.
That still means you've seen
that same
the
moon,
fake moon.
Yes, always.
Since you were a child.
Yeah.
Okay,
they didn't iterate a new fake moon.
I understand in this person's brain, he cannot confirm that the moon has always been there. Let's not talk about the fact that, like, Pompey and Rome talked about it.
Well, the moon does go away sometimes.
It's true.
For maintenance.
It's true.
So they can work on it.
I mean, again,
sometimes you got to add a few new bulbs. I don't know if you've seen the Citgo sign in Boston. The Citgo sign in Kenmore Square, but those fucking neon lights are hopping out all the time.
Let's not talk about the fact that the moon is probably mentioned in the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Never once.
This person I can understand in this person's mind there could be no confirmation that the moon ever existed before he existed.
Sure.
But it has existed since he's been alive. So even if it's a fake moon, it should always have looked the way it does, so it shouldn't be weird.
Well, the Truman Show came out in the late 90s?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, okay. So,
But again, if you grow up in the Truman Show,
saying,
you grow up knowing that moon, that's a fake moon, looks the way it does.
It's always looked that way. They didn't change it. They didn't upgrade it to Moon 2.0.
Yeah.
Oh, the Man in the Moon in HD.
If they did that, yeah,
Man in the Moon 4K.
It's a good joke because Jim Carrey.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of that.
What? You didn't even
There's
think
multiple
of that?
levels.
That's here I am giving
There's
you more credit than you deserve.
Thank you. Shh.
Kaufman.
Yeah, I knew what it was, yeah.
Anyway.
Well.
But so I just wanted you to know that's been bothering me ever since. I've been thinking, but just like, how?
I appreciate your level of thinking
weird
on that because I just let it go. I was like, well.
No, and you should.
And also, he was the first person I've ever met who actually has ever said to me that they truly believed that the Earth was flat. That's the first time I'd ever heard it, so I didn't know how to engage with it. So all I did was I said, he's like, don't you think it's weird? And I was like, yeah, it's we live in a simulation.
So here's the thing, though.
We all live in a simulation.
The simulation makes more sense if the moon doesn't look right, because that means the simulation changed. You know what I mean? like that makes more sense for his proof. Yeah,
I think you're right.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that.
All right, we should just end there because it's a great place to end.
It is a good place to end.
Right.
Fuck it, we don't live on a flat Earth, people. I'm so sorry.
It might be traveling really quickly upwards. That's why it's flat. Because of the speed at which it's traveling.
I did once think
so
maybe cars move
disc.
because the Earth revolves. So you just turn the wheel because the Earth is moving around.
I know somebody who, when they were a child, they thought that smokestacks were what created clouds.
See,
which
I
just think that's cute.
Though. Yeah, I like that idea.
That's an adorable idea.
Join Neutral Milk Hotel.
Write us at marklarsmarklarmusic at gmail.com. That's marklarsmarklarmusic at gmail.com.
Do it. I mean, and
do it.
Go to the Instagram, marklarsmarklarmusic.
Do it.
It's a good Jim Carrey face.
Do it.
Anyway, okay. We'll see you later. That's why I couldn't say it before.